Most people think a traffic stop is simple. Cop pulls you over, you hand over your documents, maybe get a ticket, and you're on your way. But what's really happening during those few minutes can determine whether you walk away with a warning or end up facing serious charges. Police officers are trained in specific techniques designed to gather evidence against you, and most drivers have no idea it's happening. Let's talk about 10 moves cops use during routine traffic stops that can absolutely destroy your case in court. And here's the thing, these aren't illegal tactics, they're completely legal. But knowing what's happening gives you the power to protect yourself. Move number one, the approach and observation window. The moment an officer steps out of their patrol car, they're building a case. They're not just walking up to chat, they're observing everything: how you're sitting, whether you're fidgeting, are you reaching for something, are you looking in your mirrors. They're trained to interpret nervous behavior as suspicious behavior. And here's where it gets tricky. They're also looking through your windows before they even make contact with you. They're scanning your back seat, your passenger seat, your floorboards, even the roof of your car. Anything in plain view can be used as probable cause for a search. That empty beer can from last weekend? That counts. The smell they claim to detect? That counts too. A gym bag that looks suspicious? That's enough. They're cataloging every detail, every item, every piece of potential evidence. And they're doing this before you even know they're there. By the time they tap on your window, they've already started building a narrative about you and what kind of person you are. Move number two, the positioning game. Ever notice where the officer stands when they talk to you? It's not random. They're trained to stand slightly behind your door pillar, positioning themselves where you have to turn your head uncomfortably to see them. This isn't about safety, though that's part of it. It's a psychological tactic. It puts you off balance. It makes you feel vulnerable. And when people feel vulnerable, they talk more. They offer information they don't need to offer. They apologize for things they didn't do. The officer controls the interaction from this position, and you're immediately at a disadvantage. You're sitting, they're standing. You're craning your neck, they're comfortable. You're trapped in your vehicle, they have freedom of movement. This power dynamic is intentional, and it works incredibly well. It's the same reason interrogators sit across from suspects in specific ways. Position determines power, and they've already won before the conversation starts. Move number three, the casual conversation trap. This is the big one, and this is where most people incriminate themselves without realizing it. The officer asks you questions that seem innocent, friendly even. Do you know why I pulled you over? Where are you coming from? Where are you headed? Had anything to drink tonight? What are you up to today? These aren't friendly questions. These aren't small talk. Every single word you say is being evaluated for inconsistencies, admissions, or probable cause to search your vehicle. If you say you don't know why you were pulled over, but then the officer tells you and you apologize, you've just admitted guilt. If you say you're coming from a bar, even if you haven't been drinking, you've given them reasonable suspicion. If you hesitate or seem nervous, they'll note that too. If you talk too much, that's suspicious. If you don't talk enough, that's also suspicious. They're trained in interview techniques designed to make you talk, to make you comfortable, to lower your guard. And the more you talk, the more evidence they collect. Remember, anything you say can and will be used against you. That's not just something they say when they arrest you. It applies from the very first moment. And most people never realize they're being interrogated until it's too late. Move number four, the flashlight technique. Even during daytime stops, officers often use flashlights. They'll shine them into your car, moving the beam across seats, into cup holders, along the dashboard, under seats if they can angle it right. They're looking for anything incriminating: pills, weapons, drug paraphernalia, open containers, bags of cash, anything unusual. But there's another reason for the flashlight. At night, they'll shine it directly in your eyes. They're checking your pupils. Are they dilated? Constricted? How do you react to the light? Do you squint excessively? This is part of their DUI detection process, and it's happening before they've even told you why they pulled you over. You think they're just trying to see your license, but they're conducting an examination. They're looking for bloodshot eyes, for that glassy look, for involuntary eye movements. And all of this is being mentally cataloged as evidence. Move number 5, the document delay. You hand over your license, registration, and insurance. The officer walks back to their car, and then you wait, and wait, and wait. This isn't just them running your information, though they are doing that. They're watching you. There are cameras pointed at your vehicle. They're observing what you do when you think no one's watching. Are you making phone calls? Are you shoving something under the seat? Are you looking panicked? Are you talking to your passengers? Are you crying? This delay is strategic. It's designed to make you anxious. Anxious people make mistakes. They move things they shouldn't move. They have conversations that get picked up on dash cameras. They also use this time to call for backup if they think they might search your vehicle or if they suspect you might be difficult to deal with. They're checking for warrants, for prior arrests, for the vehicle's history. By the time they return to your window, they already know if you have warrants, if your license is suspended, if the car is registered to someone else, if you've been arrested before, and for what. And they've watched your behavior the entire time. That anxiety you're feeling, that's the point. Move number 6, the contradictory commands. An officer might tell you to keep your hands on the wheel where they can see them, then immediately ask you to get your registration from the glove box. Or they'll ask you to step out of the vehicle while simultaneously asking you questions that require detailed answers. Or they'll tell you to stay in your car, then seem irritated that you haven't gotten out yet. These contradictory instructions serve multiple purposes. First, they keep you off balance and confused. Confused people make mistakes and reveal things they otherwise wouldn't. Second, they test your compliance and demeanor. How you handle conflicting instructions tells them whether you might be a problem, whether you might run, whether you might fight. Third, if you reach for something after being told to keep your hands visible, even if they just asked you for that document, they can claim they felt threatened. It creates liability for you while giving them justification for escalation. You can't win. If you follow the first command, you're ignoring the second. If you ask for clarification, you seem difficult. It's a tactical approach to maintain control and create opportunities for additional investigation. Move number 7, the passenger separation tactic. If you have passengers in your vehicle, officers are trained to separate you. They'll ask your passenger to step out and speak with another officer away from the vehicle, or they'll question them while you're sitting in your car unable to hear. This isn't random. They're looking for inconsistencies in your stories. Where you're coming from, where you're going, what you've been doing, whose car it is, how long you've known each other. If your stories don't match perfectly, that's reasonable suspicion for further investigation. Most passengers don't realize they're being used as witnesses against the driver. They think they're just answering harmless questions, being helpful even, but every word is being compared to what you said. And here's the problem. Even innocent people tell stories differently. What you call a restaurant, your passenger might call a bar. What you remember as leaving at 8, they remember as leaving at 9. Those small differences become big problems. They become evidence of deception. And once officers think you're lying about one thing, they assume you're lying about everything. Move number 8, the plain smell doctrine. You'll hear officers say they smell marijuana or alcohol or something burning. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. But once those words are spoken, everything changes. The plain smell doctrine gives officers probable cause to search your vehicle without your consent and without a warrant. And here's the tricky part. Smell is subjective. There's no body camera that can verify what an officer smelled. There's no recording device that captures odors. It's their word. And their word is usually enough. Even if you haven't smoked marijuana in your car, even if you haven't been drinking, if they say they smell it, they can search. Maybe someone else smoked in your car last week. Maybe your passenger has residue on their clothes. Maybe the officer is just creating probable cause because something else about the stop made them suspicious. Once that search begins, they're looking for anything illegal, not just what they claim to smell. And if they find something, anything, you're going to be arrested. That smell claim just turned your traffic stop into a criminal investigation. Move number 9, the extended small talk. The stop should be over. You got your ticket or warning, and the officer has your information. But instead of letting you go, they keep talking, asking about your day, where you live, what you do. It feels friendly, but it's not. Once the purpose of the stop is complete, you're legally free to leave. Most people don't know that, so they keep answering questions. During this time, officers are still observing you, watching your behavior, scanning your car, and hoping you'll say something incriminating. If you ask, "Am I free to go?" and they say yes, but keep chatting, they're fishing. Anything you say can still be used against you. Move number 10, the exit request and field sobriety setup. If an officer asks you to step out of the car, the stop just escalated. Now they're watching how you walk, talk, balance, and move. They may claim they smell alcohol or marijuana and ask you to do field sobriety tests. These tests are designed to be failed, even sober people fail them. They're subjective, with no real pass or fail, just the officer's opinion. Poor balance, nerves, bad knees, fatigue, stress, or medical conditions can all make you fail. Once that happens, your performance becomes evidence and gives them probable cause for arrest and further testing. So, what do you do with this information? How do you protect yourself? First, understand your rights clearly. You have the right to remain silent. You don't have to answer questions beyond providing your identification and documents. You can politely say you'd prefer not to answer questions without an attorney present. You have the right to refuse searches. If an officer asks to search your car, you can clearly state that you do not consent to a search. If they have probable cause, they'll search anyway, but your lack of consent matters in court. It can be the difference between evidence being admissible or not. You have the right to ask if you're free to go. Once the purpose of the stop is complete, you can ask this question. If they say yes, you can leave. You have the right to remain calm and polite without incriminating yourself. And document everything if you can. Remember the details. What was said, what was done, in what order, who said what. None of this is about being difficult or disrespectful to police officers. It's about protecting yourself and understanding what's really happening. Police officers have a job to do, and they're trained to do it well. They're trained to gather evidence. They're trained to detect criminal activity. They're trained to get people to talk. But you have rights, and knowing these tactics means you can exercise those rights intelligently and effectively. A routine traffic stop doesn't have to turn into a legal nightmare, but it can, in just a few minutes. If you don't know what's really happening during those moments on the side of the road, stay calm, be polite, know your rights, provide your documents. And remember, everything that happens during that stop, every word you say, every movement you make, is building either your case or theirs. Make sure you understand which side you're building. If this video helped you and you want to learn more about dealing with police or getting legal help, click the link in the description below.